Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to my May Marketing Bootcamp. This has been so much fun. And I know that today's topic is one that is super desired by most entrepreneurs. It's all about cash flow. So if you haven't met me yet, my name is Amy Yamada, and I'm here to help you to deeply connect with yourself, your vision, and your ideal clients so that you can create the impact and the income that you've always wanted. So that's what today's about. It's really about your income, right? So I think oftentimes early on in entrepreneurship or first couple of years, it can be easy to just focus on like, oh, I just want to make a difference in the world and I want to create financial freedom and I love helping people and there's this dreaminess about it all. And then we remember that, oh, and I get to be a business owner. Like there's a whole business side to what it is I'm about to do and how do I feel about that? And it's funny because I think about early on how I thought that I knew what I was doing. Like I thought that, okay, I've got this great background. I worked in the local Seattle media for 15 years on the business and marketing and promotion side of things. So I've worked with so many business owners, so this should be easy. And while there were some things that came naturally to me, there was so much more to learn as a business owner that I was just like, okay, I got humbled really quickly, which is a good thing, right? It's good to be humble. So one of the things I realized was that even though I felt so busy, remember I don't like to use that word, I had a really full schedule, full life, I really wasn't making very much money. And I thought, what is my problem? And I know I touched on this a little bit the other day, but I had these little tiny packages and it wasn't adding up to what would hopefully become, and it did become, a full-time business where I now even have a whole team that works with me. It's so awesome. So it's had to start somewhere though, right? It started with me and then it started like once I got things going to a certain point, then I brought on an assistant. So some of you already have assistants or maybe some of you even have a team. If you don't, just know that I really do recommend working towards that because if you think about a business, like just take a moment and think about a business. Think about all the different departments in an actual business, right? Which you get to have an actual business. There's the accounts receivables, there's the administrative department, there's the marketing department, there's the product development. Think about all the different components that you can think of a business. Even if you haven't been in the business world, you can at least guess customer service, right? There's just so much. And if you are doing it all on your own, unless you really wanted to keep it like small, I mentioned this the other day, if you want to keep it as a hobby or a side business or a side hustle where it's just like, yeah, I can be a solo entrepreneur, it's all good, then ultimately, you got to think about these different departments and are you willing and able to handle all of them as you grow? Or is it something where eventually you get to delegate? And I used to not think this way. I used to think, I just want it to be me and just me and, be a controller and whatnot. And then I realized that if I really want to scale and not just in finances, but in my impact, then I get to create a team. That could be a whole other training. But for today, we're all about creating your cash flow. And I was really stressed about money at one point. I was really stressed and I thought, okay, something's got to shift. And I went into a little bit yesterday when we were talking about creating your packages. And so today I'm going to talk about really creating that cash flow. So if this is something you can relate to, for those of you watching live, just say, yes, that's me. I want cash flow. If you're excited about creating more cash flow, just say yes, yes, yes. Click some hearts, give me some love. And let's create some energy here because I know this topic can be a sensitive one for some people. I think that if we shift it to being an exciting one, that's when we really open up the doors to opportunity. Also, if you have been watching my May Marketing Bootcamp, or if you're already getting excited about the topic for today, go ahead and click on the share button because you never know who's going to see this Facebook Live and gain something from it, or see this recording and gain something from it, and we could just together can make a difference for them, okay? All right, so we're gonna dive right in. First of all, it's all about making money your friend. This might sound funny, but I look at everything as the opportunity to have a deep connection. So even with money, you get to create a positive, abundant relationship with money. So let's take money out of it for a moment. If you wanted to create a relationship with another human being and you're just like, gosh, I really like this person, right? We want to like money. I really like this person. I really want to build a relationship with them. What would you do? You wouldn't be like, oh my gosh, you really stress me out and I don't want to talk about it and I don't want to look at you and I don't want to know. And if you really take it there, like the relationship can be a negative one. And if you're wanting to build a relationship, then how would you treat that person? You would, if it were me, I would say, yeah, I want to get to know you. I want to spend more time with you. I want to really understand how you work. I want to know, like, everything about you. And so it's the same thing with money, right? You get to make money your friend. You get to build a relationship and a positive connection with money so that instead of it being a root cause of your stress, I can't tell you how often I talk to entrepreneurs and there's like, I'm just so stressed about money, right? I'm just so stressed about money. I'm so stressed about their lack of money. So shift that to a relationship. Like say it was, a best friend. I'm so stressed about my best friend, right? I'm so stressed about where we are right now. Like, what would you do about it? Would you say, like, I'm just going to let this relationship be a stressor? Or would you say, hey, let's talk things through because I love you, I care about you, and, we can really resolve this. So I know it's kind of a funny analogy, but just think about it for a moment. If you want to attract more money into your life, stop letting it be the stressor of your life and a root cause of your stress, and decide to build a positive relationship and say, okay, you could even have a conversation with it if you want to be a little bit, I like to be a little woo-woo, it's all good. Where you say, all right, money, we haven't had the best relationship so far. I know that I haven't seen much of you. I haven't kept you around. I haven't really been open to you. And that gets to shift, and we get to build a really good relationship because I know that if we find a way to work together, we can make a bigger impact together. We can create more peace and harmony. We can, Like, I know it might sound silly, but I just think that why not have a wonderful, positive, abundant relationship with money? So the stress, I understand, can come from not having enough money. And the stress can feel like, okay, not only do I not have enough money, but I don't know how to bring money in. And then it becomes this vicious cycle. And I talk to a lot of entrepreneurs on a daily basis, and I hear the words, I can't afford all the time. Oh, I just can't afford it right now. I just can't afford it. And those are 3 words, as I mentioned on one of the other trainings, to remove from your vocabulary if you ever want to welcome in abundance. So instead of I can't afford, I mentioned it a few days ago, think about saying it's just not a priority right now. Because if it were, you would do something about it. If it were, you would say, okay, what if it were possible? What if I could create this abundance? What if I had to, what would I do? If you had to, you would do something about it. But I think so often we put ourselves and our dreams and our visions on like the back burner at the bottom of the priority list. And we decide that it's just not going to happen versus I've decided it's going to happen. I'm fully committed and I'm going to rock it out. Like I'm committed, and I'm going to figure it out. So in that case, it's about building the confidence to be able to create more and welcome more in. And I think that's where the problem lies. So we get to shift that today. Okay. So, okay, here we go. So what you get to do is first of all, making money your friend. Then it's about creating a cash flow plan that aligns with your goal. So for those of you who are not math people, like I was not a math person. Like when I look back to my, junior high school, or even in college, like I remember they had this graduation requirement, QSRs, quantitative symbolic reasoning. And I'm like, why do I have to have this? Like I just hated math, but the good thing is this is very basic math. And I like to have a fat calculator to do even basic math. So what you could do is really think about what is a cash flow plan that aligns with your goal. So very basically, and even if you've done this before, I believe it's a good exercise to come back to. Very basically, you can look at either the long-term goal or an immediate goal. So is it what you're looking at for the next 12 months or the next 3 months? Or you're like, you know what, I'm ready for a cash infusion. I know some people say cash injection, but I always think of a cash injection as like, it sounds painful. A cash infusion, we welcome it in. If it's an immediate cash infusion, you can look at the next even 2 to 4 weeks and say, okay, what would I like to bring in this next month, right? And think about what is that amount? So for example, I remember having a client come to me when she was stressing out about money, and she was like, I don't know what's wrong, but I found myself in a place where I'm really strapped and I don't know what to do. And she's actually really great at enrollment, which we are going to get into enrollment in the May Marketing Bootcamp, meaning sales conversations that are really heart-centered and feel really good. And I said, well, why don't we come up with a strategy and a plan, because I know you can do this, and let's think about your premium offering. And so I asked her, I said, what is your most premium offering? And that was from yesterday's training, right? Having a premium offering. And she had an offering that was $4,000. And I said, okay, so who do you know that you believe this offering will make a difference for? Is there anyone who's interested in it? And so this is kind of getting a little clue about connecting with your ideal clients, but really thinking about what is the most premium offering you have, and let's come up with a plan, right? So I said, what amount do you want to bring in? And so she's like, I really would love to have $20,000 come in like ASAP. I'm like, great. So, and it's so funny when sometimes people throw a big number like that to me, they think I'm going to go, whoa, that's not going to happen. That is not going to, like, that's not how I would show up. So I would say, okay, 20,000, right? I know it's basic, right? But I love doing it on my fat calculator. 20,000 divided by 4,000 equals 5. Just 5 clients that she can bring in at the $4,000 level. So I said, do you know 5 people? Obviously, it doesn't mean that the 5 people she's going to reach out to are going to say yes, right? It's not about being attached to whether or not they say yes. It's about being committed to taking the steps to make a difference for others and also bringing in that abundance. So she thought of 2 people immediately. She's like, gosh, yeah, I actually have talked to a couple of people that have been interested in this package, but I don't know, I don't really know where they are with it. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's $8,000 right there, and 2 people that you get to make a difference for. Like, let it be easy. Like, let it be so easy. And I know some of you might have some triggers coming up right now, like, yeah, but Amy, you don't understand. I don't know anybody that I can offer this to, or I don't know anyone that would pay that kind of money, or I don't know how to have an enrollment conversation. So these are things that I know I'm so committed during the May Marketing Bootcamp to help you with this. And of course, I go deeper into it with my Powerhouse clients in Powerhouse, California. And even here, I hope that you are taking mad notes. Like, it's just crazy because I'm giving you the best of what I've got. And if what's coming up for you is I can't, just watch that language. And instead you can say, I just don't know how yet. And I'm committed to figuring it out. Because if I'm doing it, if my clients are doing it, if my colleagues are doing it, there's no reason why you can't do it. Like, I heard somebody say this today, like, why do you think you're so special that you can't do something? Like, don't single yourself out like that. Like, don't be a hater to yourself. It's rude. It's rude to yourself. Okay. So I did the same thing. So last year I had a big goal of doubling my income. Like, every year I have kind of this crazy goal of doubling my income. This year it's even more than anyway, it's not the point. I had this idea of increasing my income by $25,000. So similar kind of a scenario where I created a VIP package. I think I mentioned this yesterday. So it was a VIP intensive, which is basically a 1-day, one-on-one private intensive training with me. And I don't offer this package anymore, by the way, at least at this rate. I do. Sometimes I'll offer it throughout year, like at a higher rate, but I used to offer it for $5,000. It was a 1-day intensive. And then it had 30, I can't remember because it's a while ago, 30 or 60 days of Voxer access, Voxer. If you don't have the app, you've got to download it. It's like a walkie-talkie. It's awesome. So Voxer access is really great for laser coaching. So for my VIP intensive clients, they would work with me for a full day, either in person or sometimes we'd break it into 2.5 hour online sessions like via Zoom. So just a really intensive training. And then they had access to me for the next, I can't remember, 30 or 60 days via Voxer so that they can ask me questions, follow up, all that for me holding them to the highest level of accountability and make sure that they're really getting the best value from the intensive. So I charged at that time $5,000 and I was just so committed to it. I was like, okay, I know that I can reach out to people that I truly believe that this offering can make a difference for, and I can charge a premium for it because I know that the value is there, because again, like I said yesterday, enroll yourself first, right? I was super enrolled in my own offering. So that's what I did. And within 4 weeks, I enrolled 5 people into a $5,000 package. So anyone good at math? 5 times 5,000. I do know the answer to this, but I always like to do it on a calculator. 25,000, like an additional 25,000 in 1 month. So some of you are just like, okay, good for you. Like, I can sense it. There's someone watching right now or watching the replay. It's like, okay, that's great, but I don't know how to do that. So just know that in the coming weeks, I'm going to be giving you the best of what I got, like I said. And whatever that number is for you, like it might be that you would like to bring in another $1,000 or $5,000 and just think about what could I create, right, from yesterday's training? What is the offering that I can offer? Like, so what is the premium offering and how many of these do I get to sell and who do I get to call forward to make it happen? Okay, is this making sense? And yes, you can ask questions at the end. I will take a couple of questions. So number 1, build that relationship with money, make money your friend, right? Build that positive relationship. Number 2, create a cash flow plan that aligns with your goal. So be really clear on what that looks like, okay? And then, so for me last year was that, I wanted to add another 25,000. So I was like, okay, if I enroll 5 people at the 5,000 level, that's 25,000. It's very basic math. And it doesn't mean that every time I've set these types of goals that I've achieved them. I want to be really clear on that. I think sometimes people When you see someone on a platform like this or on a stage, you're just like, oh, it's just so easy for you. Or you just always make it happen. I don't. I mean, there's been times when I've had a goal. I remember one year I had a goal of enrolling 50 people, like 50 people in a program, and I enrolled something like 20. You know, like it didn't happen. And I used to go into self beat up mode. And now I understand from all the inner work that I've done that my worthiness is intact no matter what. You know, whether I achieve the goal or don't achieve the goal, my worthiness is intact. And if I don't achieve the goal, I get to be loving to myself. So this is for you too. And say, okay, what worked for me? What didn't work for me? And what do I get to improve moving forward? Like, where do I get to go from here? So I really want to just be so transparent with you that to this day, I don't always hit my goals. I do everything I can. I learn every time. I take action every time. I'm committed. And sometimes I don't get there. And I truly trust and embrace the process. So I just wanted you to hear that. Okay, so number 3 is, which I already started to do the math. Do the math. So if you want to achieve that goal, okay, what is the amount? So let me give you another example. Say you want to look at a longer term goal. So say that you're just like, okay, I want to look at the next year. And usually I don't do like one-off offerings like that. That's why when I do a VIP intensive like that, it's like a big offering, a premium offering. But I used to have these little piddly packages, right? It's like, oh, I'll just do like a 1-time session or a 3-time session and it's done and it costs like nothing. And then that doesn't build a business, that doesn't build an impact. So in that case, like if you were to think about, okay, say for example, over the course of a year, what would you like to make on a monthly basis? So to bring it back to the basics, I know a lot of people say they either want to, like a lot of times people say, I would love to get to the 10K per month mark. Like that would be dreamy and then go beyond from there if that's the choice, right? So very simply, if you had a private coaching package and you wanted to make $10,000 a month and you charged $1,000 a month or $997 per month, then, right, it's 10 clients times 1,000, right? So if you had 10 clients that each were year-long clients that paid $1,000 a month, that would get you to the $10,000 a month goal. So again, I want you to hear that that's just an example. Some of you are like, there's no way I could charge $1,000 a month. And that's totally up to you. Remember to come up with an amount that's stretchy and attainable for you and put together your packages and then just do the math so you're super clear on that. And then finally, number 4 is to know your numbers. Know your numbers. I used to not know my numbers. I'm still not perfect at it. And the more I remember that relationship, right? The more I know my numbers and get to know, like, in fact, you could write this down: input, output, goal, and gap. Input, output, goal, and gap. So what's coming in, what's going out. You could do this in your business world and you could do this in your personal world. What's coming in, what's going out, what's your goal, and what's the gap if there is one, okay? That way you just have the very clear numbers. And for some of you, it's like, oh my gosh, but I have to figure out like what all my bills are. I'm telling you, if you do this at least once, I did this once with, I did Dave Ramsey's Financial Peace University, and he had this great worksheet that was like, you know, basically a monthly cash flow budgeting plan, and just at least doing it once and then noticing that it's actually not that scary. Sometimes people still have their triggers come up because they're like, oh my gosh, I have so much less coming in than going out and I don't know what to do. Like, remember that the money is not here to hurt you. The money is simply a tool that human beings invented that is like a trade, you know, here's the money and what do I receive for it? So the money is not your enemy. The money is not here to hurt you. So think about, know your numbers: input, output, goal, and gap. You can do that. It sounds like a little song: input, output, goal, and gap. So you can totally do this. The other piece of it is just, aside from the gap in numbers, just notice what the gap is for you in your business, you know? And so for some of you, you've actually had your businesses for a few years and you still are struggling with either the enrollment conversation or really valuing yourself or knowing even how to describe what it is you sell. And if that's the case, like, that is my jam. So whether or not you work with myself and my team or another great coach, like, I'm not attached to that. I'm just so committed to really taking a stand for you and your vision and not having you be one of the many people who totally gives up at some point because it's too hard. You know, that's just a story that we share when we feel super stuck, you know? So, okay, so I'd love to open it up for questions. And I know that this is something that you can all do if you just take action. Just take action and know that every single one of us, from my experience of entrepreneurs, has been stressed about this very topic, whether there's been a pain point around money or whether people have hit a plateau and want to break through to the next level. And even where I am in my journey, like even though I've grown to a certain point, like I've increased my revenue and I put it all back into the business. And so it still feels very stretchy because I'm making these big, bold, courageous decisions, like putting on a 3-day big event this year in the fall. I know some of you heard me talk about it, my dream big event. I can't wait to share details on it. It's super stretchy, right? Because I know there's so many hard costs. It's a big undertaking. And I'm so committed out of my mind to make it happen that I will be using my own Create, Connect, Offer system, working with my team, having a solid cash flow plan, following the plan, noticing my gaps, and then being committed to filling those gaps. So a lot of this is just like having your inner game in check and not letting your emotions take you sideways and your stress take you sideways, because otherwise, like, you know, whatever's in front of you right now is your test, right? So it's your test, and it's like until you overcome that, then you won't be given the next opportunity. So whatever it is that's in front of you, you totally get to take yourself on, embrace the journey, and make it happen. So, okay, if this has been helpful, go ahead and click on the share button so together we can make a bigger difference. Okay, so if you have questions, I'm going to go through some of your comments. I love hearing from all you. Yvette, I'm seeing some for those of you watching live, I love seeing these names that have been on every single day. It's so fun. So Yvette, you're one of them, definitely. Hey, Holly. Good morning. Okay, Monique. Hey, Tracy. Aloha, Tracy. Cece, who I get to see soon. Olivia, Dagmar. Okay, Holly saying 1,500 by the 15th. So that's great. Making declarations is awesome. I would love to see more declarations on here, by the way. Like how much by when. I have one entrepreneur who's considering coming to Powerhouse, California. And she's like, I really want to go. I really need to find a way to make it happen. I'm like, great, let's give you a stretch challenge. And we said 20K by the end of May, and we're checking in a couple weeks. And if I still have spots available, she's in. So just get really clear. Doesn't that sound fun? 20K by the end of May. So fun. Naomi says, never thought about having a relationship with money as I know it is a negative one that needs to change. Yeah. Like, you want a good relationship with money, like be kind to it, you know? Holly says, there's always someone available in your space that will buy. So true. Hey, Leah. Okay. Take a sip of water. I'm back to water today, ladies and gentlemen. I always want to say gentlemen because I don't know if somebody's watching later. Okay. What did you say instead of saying, I don't have money? Okay. So if you ever say, I can't afford it, or I don't have the money, just say, it's just not a priority right now. It's just not a priority right now, because if it were a priority, and I always hate to use these extremes, but if it were a life or death situation for yourself or a loved one, I don't believe that you would say, I can't afford it. I just don't believe it. I think that any amount, be like, okay, what do I need to do? Like, I will do whatever it takes to find this money. And yet when it's your dream, right? When it's your dream, like, why not have that same energy of like, I'll do whatever it takes. I'll do whatever it takes. My dog's right here right now saying hi. Can't see her, but she's like, can I have some attention, please? Hey, Brandy. Yes, you're welcome. CC. Amy's stretch challenges are fun. Yeah, you could. Okay, everyone could take on a stretch challenge today. You know, you could decide that between now and the end of May, what would you like to see happen? Like, what are you committed to creating? Instead of I want, you say, I am committed. I am committed to creating 20K by the end of May, or whatever it is. Okay. Valerie, I used the advice from the last few days when I put a proposal last night and it was accepted this morning. Oh my gosh, congratulations. Valerie, that's awesome. I was like, no way she's going to accept it. There's no way she's going to accept this, but it stuck to what I felt great about and was not attached to the outcome. Valerie, that is outstanding. I love it. I love it. Yay. Happy, happy, happy. So Valerie, I would love to know, what did it take from you to make that happen? You know, what was the shift? Okay. Oh, Naomi, put lemon in your water. Yes, I should do that. You're right. Okay. Any other questions before we wrap up for today? Any other questions? Next couple of days, I'm super pumped. I'm going to be at the Edgewater in Seattle with my Powerhouse Mastermind clients. And I'll still be doing this with you. It'll be super fun because I'll be doing it in front of my clients. And I'm sure they'll be like, hee hee hee. I'm just kidding. They'll be like that. They'll probably be excited because they'll get to see it like live and in person. Okay, Naomi says, explain more about not being attached to the outcome. This is a big one. So what I've found, and I've experienced this myself, and I've seen this in so many entrepreneurs, is that when they're in need of money, like when I've been in need, like I've been there, then it's easy to be attached to the outcome. Like it's easy to be attached to, okay, I have to, like, this client, this potential client's in front of me has to say yes because I have to make money and I have to pay my bills and I'm so stressed and I don't have enough money. That's coming from a place of lack, scarcity, uncertainty, panic, stress, and that's not going to serve you well in your enrollment conversations, meaning your sales conversations. So it's really important that you're not attached, and the same thing with when you set a goal. Sometimes I'll have clients, and I've done this before too. I relate so much to my clients. I'll have clients who will say, well, I don't really want to put in, I don't want to say a goal. I don't want to say how many people I'd like to enroll into my group coaching program, for example. I don't want to say it because what if I don't hit it and then I feel bad about myself? And that's where I invite you to shift, because first of all, setting goals is like setting a destination of where you want to go. I always think of the GPS, right? It's like for those of you who are directionally challenged like me, and this is where I'm not going to say recovering directionally challenged. I am still directionally challenged. The best invention on the planet is the GPS, hands down. So I love when you type it in, like where you're going, and then it automatically knows where you are because it's magic. And then these 2 pins drop down. You're like, oh my gosh, this is where I want to go, and this is where I am now, and now I know how to get there. So why not have a destination point, like a number of people that you're going to call forward and make a difference for, and that you're going to charge a premium for because it's your time, your expertise, you get to value yourself, and just say, this is where I am now, and this is where I get to go. And I know it's not the same as far as you don't get the exact route of how you're going to get there. I mean, I'm giving you the framework. I know obstacles can come up, but really it's about just being so clear with that. And then just like I said before, don't be attached, because it's when you get attached that your energy is attached, it's stressful, and you're also allowing yourself to attach your worthiness to your result. And if you don't achieve the result, it's not about beating yourself up. It's just saying, okay, I didn't quite get there. I'm sure some of us have stories about road trips we've taken where the car broke down, you didn't make it to the destination, or you didn't make it there on the date. I'm thinking about my family. Gosh, after college, I went and did a work exchange program in London. And I lived in London for a few months, and I did the whole backpacking Europe thing. I was gone for a total of about 6 months. And the first week I flew out there, and then my parents flew out there. I was with a friend, and we decided to drive from London to Stonehenge, right? Like tourists, whatever. And our car broke down on the motorway. And here we are, no cell phones, no way to reach people, in the middle of nowhere, pulled over, just cars flying by us. It's just total train wreck, right? So my dad and I literally walked until we found a few houses and started knocking on doors to get a phone to figure it out, But my point is, we didn't make it to the destination that day, but that didn't mean that we skipped going to the destination. We still had time, so we just decided to go the next day, and we problem solved it. We figured it out. It's just like life, So just don't be attached. And even I know I'm jumping ahead for a moment here. One of the things that has really helped me in enrollment conversations, and we'll get there, we're in the create part of my Create Connect offer system that I'm doing throughout the month of May. Even in enrollment conversations, you can say to someone, I'm not attached to whether or not you work with me. What I'm committed to is helping you any way that I can. And I say this with so much heart and compassion because I understand that when someone comes to me that is a potential client or is an entrepreneur, it's because they're wanting my help because they're stuck in one area of their business. And I'm not here to be salesy or pushy. I'm here and committed out of my mind to help you, So, and I just expect that if they're coming to me that they're open and coachable. Why come to a coach if you're not gonna be open? You know what I mean? So don't be attached and be committed at the same time. Does that make sense? Okay. Yes, let go of attachment. Okay. Hey, Jenna. Isabel. Any advice for letting go of attachment? Concrete tools. So the way let me just drop in for a moment. The way I let go of attachment is before I do any, before I get on a Facebook Live, before I get on a call with someone, before I lead a team call, before I lead a group coaching call, before I step on a stage, I take a moment to myself and I remind myself what I came here to do. I remind myself that I am here to make a difference. I'm here to empower others. I'm here to be humble. I'm here to say, okay, I know that I have a gift when it comes to words and messaging and building a deep connection and being relationship based. I know I'm here that to help people to really focus on connection instead of just business and transaction. I'm here to make a difference. Like, I just start to remind myself what I'm here to do. What did I come here to do? And I trust, I have faith. I let go of attachment, because if I'm attached, then I'm not on purpose anymore. And I'm so committed to being on purpose. So I just really just align. I just kind of see myself lining, like getting so aligned within, getting centered within. And I know that I'm here on purpose. I know that when I'm giving of myself and I share my gifts with the world, like I've gotten so many messages since the beginning of my May Marketing Bootcamp of people who are in shock of what I'm doing. They're just like, I can't believe how generous you're being. I can't believe you're just giving all this content away. I'm like, it's because it's not about like everybody having to be my client. I'm not attached to that. What I'm committed to is making a difference. And I have faith that when I am giving of myself and sharing and knowing that my content and what I'm sharing with you, I hope will make a difference for you if you put it into action. I also trust that a percentage of you will say, you know what? I want to go further with you, Amy. I want to go further with you and your team. What do you have coming up? And I'm in and I'll figure it out. Like, I trust that. And it happens. I mentioned yesterday, I have 2 women flying from Australia to my Powerhouse California event because they're so committed. Like, they're just like, you're worth it. Like, it's not even about me, but they know that what I can provide for them will help them get to their vision. So why would they not find a way to make it happen? So I take a moment, I drop into my heart, and I go into a much deeper space and say, it's not about me, it's just not about me. I'm not attached. It's about what I can do and make a difference. And there's nothing more fulfilling than making a difference for people and building that deep connection and building those relationships and getting so excited that my clients are all flying in tomorrow. Like I get fired up about my life. I get fired up about my business, and it's really fun. So I invite you to get into your own spirit of things in your own authentic way. And the more you are willing to put yourself out there in a way that's vulnerable and real and unattached, and just say, like, just telling yourself, I trust that when I am in my purpose, that I will be taken care of. It's all good. It's all good. So I hope that helps. Okay, let's see here. Hey, Nicola, good to see you here. Valerie, honestly, I'm not sure what the shift was specifically. Okay, I was taking into consideration all of my experience and investments I've made to get me where I am. Okay, so you did the confidence exercise where you make a list of all the things that you've done and then you take yourself out of it and describe that woman, right? Awesome. I love it. Yay, Valerie, I'm so excited. That's awesome. Awesome. Valerie, you should turn that into a meditation. Yeah, sometimes, Valerie, when I do my at my Powerhouse retreats, I do some really like deep visualizations, and the energy in the room, like I know some of you have done deeper inner work, like I love leading these visualizations because there's a moment where I feel the shift and the whole room just feels elevated, and I just get chills, and I see people with, the smile and the tears, and it's really powerful stuff. Like my happiest place is when I'm in person with my clients. It's like it's just so great. Cece, I'm providing free art healing sessions, creating deep connections. Yes. Okay, so I want to give a shout out to Cece. I love giving shout outs. So Cece, if you don't know Cece Cruz Zendejas, you must know her. She provides these artistic healing therapeutic sessions that are mind-blowing. Like, I think sometimes, those of us who like to do the deeper inner work, we may go to, we might do leadership trainings, or we might go to maybe counseling or some kind of transformational experience. If you haven't done it in an artistic manner, Cece is your girl. Like, I highly recommend you friend request her, and hopefully she accepts. And she does these really cool retreats where you actually go in with an intimate group of people, and she takes you through an experience internally, and then you get to process through an expression through art and painting. So even if you're not an artist, she sees us all as artists. She actually did this at my Powerhouse retreat, and it was epic. So definitely friend request Cece. She's amazing, and check out her posts because they're so beautiful. Yeah, you're welcome. All right, everybody. On that note, I'm going to wrap this one up. So happy to be here with all of you. And tomorrow we've got a special treat. I've got Olga Plastino, who's on my team. She's been on my team. She's one of my dearest friends for a long time now. And it's going to all be about creating your branding. So one of the things that's made a big difference in my world, that is a big part of my part of my module, is your branding. And that's where Olga Plastino is the best of the best. So we're going to be talking about branding. So I hope you'll join me at 9 a.m. Pacific tomorrow. Or for those of you watching the replay, watch the next episode. And we're going to be live at the Edgewater in Seattle. It's going to be super fun. So thank you for joining me. If this has been helpful, click the share button. And I look forward to connecting with you tomorrow. All right, sending you much love. Create your cash flow plan. And let's have a really awesome month ahead. All right, sending you love. Mwah. Bye.